Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great episode of the Gridiron Glory with Will and Tad, the regular season finale episode, recapping Week 18. Or I'm sorry, this isn't the regular season finale episode. We still have another week of the regular season, but this is the Week 17 recap episode. So we have 1 week left of the regular season, and all the games take place on Sunday of week 18, January. Not all the games, all but two. All but two. There's two of them that take place tomorrow: the Bucks and the Panthers. And then what was the other Saturday game?
The San Francisco versus Seattle for the one seed in the NFC.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean that's going to be absolutely insane. I mean, right now it's literally 50-50. I mean, looking at the projections and everything, I mean that's going to be a 50-50 matchup. Um, obviously both of these teams are in the playoffs. So this game will determine who wins the division and who wins the one seed. And I mean, I can sit here and I can look at these NFC playoffs and look at the NFC playoff picture, and I might be able to think, man, given who the two seed is, given who the three seed is, even the four seed, I just can't help but think, man, a big part of why the San Francisco 49ers have that current one seed. I mean, it may have something to do with starting quarterback play. It may not. I mean, I guess a lot will be determined in the Week 18 matchup when you got Sam Darnold facing off against, if you look at Tad Dorsey's shirt there, his favorite quarterback in the NFL, Brock Purdy. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But Tad, the most impressive team, the team that we did not expect to be here whatsoever, the Chicago Bears, and they did lose to the 49ers the other day. So we'll get into that matchup. The Eagles, I mean, obviously the Eagles are going to win their division. They're pretty much locked into the three. If
They could
I'm
move up to the two. If they win and Chicago loses, they would pass Chicago for the two.
Gotcha. And then the LA Rams, they're the six and the seven. The Rams and then the Packers. Rams at six, Packers at seven. I'm not sure there's a way that those seedings can be influxed. I
The
believe.
Rams could potentially be the five seed. If they win, and I believe if San Francisco loses, I believe they would be the five and San Francisco would be the six.
Gotcha. And then the Buccaneers, I mean, they're on the outside looking in. They're the only outside looking in team. Both conferences only have one outside looking in team right at this point. Everybody else is eliminated. So we do have so currently right now, Tad, there are 16 possible teams that can still win the Super Bowl. After this week, it'll be 14. So right now, 16 teams still alive, half of the league. It's crazy to think that half of the league is still alive going into week 18. So that's pretty amazing. Um, yeah. Anyways, the Buccaneers they absolutely have to have it against the Panthers. Baker Mayfield. I mean, to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting the Buccaneers at this point in the season, given how they started their season, to be in this number 8 role on the outside looking in a must-win game against the Panthers tomorrow on Saturday. NFL Network specials, but yes, it will be very interesting to see. I mean, you got Baker Mayfield versus Bryce Young there, so I mean that's going to be a huge matchup. I mean the NFC South Championship. I personally, for the past couple of years, have been big on Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. But meanwhile, Tad Dorsey over here, he's been extremely faithful and
Hmm.
positive to Bryce Young. Even last season, when Bryce Young was really going through it, Tad Dorsey always remained optimistic about him, always stayed positive about Mr. Bryce Young. So, yeah. What's your biggest takeaways from the NFC playoff picture as it currently stands?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's the battle for the one spot there. If Carolina wins, they would get the four seed, they would clinch the division. And then if Tampa Bay were to beat them, they would still need some help. They would still need Atlanta to lose to the Saints. Because if it's a three-way tie at 8 and 9 in the NFC South, then Carolina would win that by virtue of the fact that they swept Atlanta. So Tampa Bay has put themselves in a position where they need Atlanta to lose as well. So they are in a very rough situation. I mean, they have completely come unglued down the stretch, unfortunately. I mean, they've had some health issues. They've had some players not play at the level that they had at the beginning of the season. So just mystifying how Tampa Bay has fallen off down the stretch. So that's one big storyline. And then just a lot of unproven teams near the top of the standings. Like we would have never expected like Seattle and Chicago to have the top two seeds going into the last week of the season. And I mean, we'll see if they stay there, but I mean, these are teams that are going to have like the inside track to going to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. And I mean, can they stand up to the pressure? I mean, last year we saw Detroit have the one seed and they were not able to stand up to the pressure. So, how do those teams handle that situation? That's a big question I have.
Yeah, for sure, 100% sure. Um, like this is like definitely new territory. How are they going to be able to rise up to it? All that fun stuff where it's really going to come down and be fun to see. In the AFC, you got the Broncos, who currently hold the number one seed. Um, New England still has a decent chance. I mean, they're going to need Denver to lose to the Chargers. Um, and same with the Patriots. They're going to need Denver to lose. The Patriots could still potentially get that one spot. Crazy enough for the Jacksonville Jaguars, however, they could still finish. They're currently the three seed, but they could finish as the one, the two, the three, the four, the five, the six, or the seventh seed. I mean, what's your take on like all the crazy possibilities for Jacksonville currently?
My take is for Jacksonville, it's really simple. Beat Tennessee and you win the division. I mean, if they can beat Tennessee, then a lot of the negative possibilities for them go away. Um, so you wrap up at that point at least a three seed. You could potentially move up, but more likely than not, you'd be the three seed. So Jacksonville has everything in front of them. I mean, Tennessee is a team that, I mean, they're going to come out and they're going to do what they can. But honestly, for them, they're in a position where it wouldn't even be beneficial for them to win the game. So if you're Jacksonville, it's on you to come out and take that game, claim the division, and give yourself a chance in the playoffs.
Yeah, give yourself a chance in the playoffs. Figure out what you can do with this thing. Make a run at a Super Bowl. So yeah, and then the Ravens, I mean, the biggest storyline in the AFC is the Ravens versus the Steelers going into um, Week 18, the Sunday night matchup. Could this be the last ever NFL game from Aaron Rodgers? I mean, we'll see. I mean, so that's like the biggest storyline. It's simple, like win and you're in. The Ravens versus the Steelers is a playoff game before the playoffs even start.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
but I will still go ahead and pick the Buffalo Bills to come out of the AFC of all these teams. I'm still standing pretty strong and firm on that.
Yeah, I mean, a very weird team. Buffalo is a very strange team. I mean, you never know what to expect out of them. I mean, obviously they have like some of the biggest names, obviously, out of the quarterbacks that you generally consider the top tier quarterbacks in the AFC. You have guys like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes, and two of those are already eliminated, and one of them is playing for their playoff lives. So out of that, you have Josh Allen clinched in the playoffs. So I mean, it's understandable why they would be considered like the team that you would expect to make a run in the playoffs, but I don't know. I mean, they've dropped the ball in a lot of key situations this regular season. Can they put it together in the playoffs now that they don't have to go through the Chiefs? That's been the roadblock for them for the past half decade, and now that is gone. So really there's no excuses for the Bills to not be able to take advantage and make a run in the playoffs. I mean, they're talented, but can you trust them to put it all together? That's a big question for me. I don't know how I trust them.
I mean, we've said it for the past 2 seasons that the one team that they just haven't been able to get past. And I mean, we said it in the preseason last year, said it in the preseason this year. I mean, the same, like, they have everything that it takes, just couldn't get past that one team, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mhm.
Now that they are not in the equation, I mean, like, you want to talk about a team I don't trust. I don't trust the Broncos. I don't trust the Patriots. And yes,
Mhm.
a Broncos fan, will sit here and say that I don't trust my own team just yet. I would take even a Los Angeles, not a Chargers team. I'm so sorry, but a Bills team, or maybe even potentially perhaps a Texans team versus, like, I mean, the Broncos still have so much to prove to me because, like, if you look off of last year's playoff results when they go into Buffalo and get absolutely buzzsawed, I mean, it just that I mean that was a good amount of evidence to show you what Buffalo can really do up against, non Kansas City squads. So, you want to talk about the team not to trust. I mean, me personally, it's like, even as a Denver fan, I like, yeah, like, I knew that Denver could have lots of great potential and lots of great things achieved this year, but am I going to go ahead and sit here and say Bo Nix in his second year is going to just come out and beat Josh Allen head to head when Josh Allen himself in his brain knows that the Chiefs aren't going to be in these playoffs? There's a good 50-50 chance Lamar Jackson's not going to be in these playoffs. Joe Burrow's not going to be in these playoffs. I mean, the window, if there was ever a window, if there was ever an opening for Josh Allen to win a
Mhm.
Super Bowl, this is it. So, I mean, even with the
Yeah.
current seeding, like, I mean, and they're gonna win. Like, I mean, I really hate to say it, but like, they are gonna win their last regular season game, even if they were to put backups in there. So, I mean,
Probably.
yeah, they're gonna be one of these wild card teams, but I mean, very much confident. Like, say Buffalo has to go on the road to New England. I mean, what did we see just a few weeks ago when Buffalo went to New England? I mean, Buffalo against Jacksonville, or Buffalo against the Steelers. I mean, even if Buffalo had to go on the road and play Denver, like,
Mhm.
this like, I'm sorry, I'm just a major advocate for them, and I will still realistically pick them to win the AFC. Now, would it be cool if my Broncos did win the AFC and all that and go to? Sure, I'd be ecstatic and stoked. But if I'm being a true, real NFL analyst right now, I mean, it's the Buffalo Bills for me.
I think a lot of people in the AFC are really sleeping on Jacksonville and Houston. I mean, they have some very good defenses. And I mean, defenses can play anywhere. I mean, we saw what the Eagles defense did all of last postseason. I mean, they kind of just put the other teams into a blender and they didn't really have a chance to do much of anything. And I think we could see a very similar um effort from those two teams. Now, do they have the offenses to go all the way? I don't know. That's a big question mark, especially for Houston with that offensive line. I mean, that scares me. I'm scared of the offensive line for Houston, but if you can trust CJ Stroud to make some throws under pressure, then I think that they have some potential. And for Jacksonville, if you can trust Trevor Lawrence to continue to play the way he's been playing the past, I don't know, 3, 4 weeks, then maybe you could have something there. He is sort of proving why he was a number one pick way back in the day. And can he finally fulfill that legacy? I mean, I think it's a big postseason run for the AFC South teams. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, Trevi Lors, he's an incredible quarterback, and I just love everything that he's come out here and he's done. You know, um, Leading his Jacksonville squad to a 12-4 record, and I mean, yeah, you mentioned it. I mean, they have a really good defense, but I also feel like they have a really good offensive line. Trev's able to make tremendous. I mean, Trev can make throws under pressure. He gets time in the pocket. I mean, that's another thing that people don't talk about enough with Jacksonville is their offensive line. So, and I mean, they have a really good running game too. So, those could. I saw it myself when Jacksonville went to the Mile High City and beat Denver. So, like, I would even like take Jacksonville or New England. I mean, like, listen, yes, it's cool that the Broncos could get the one seed, finish as the one seed, but that's not even locked in yet. I mean, I don't trust Denver just yet. I mean, I gotta believe it. I gotta
Mhm.
see it to
See
believe
it
it.
to believe
So,
it, yeah.
hmm um, but yeah, I guess for sure. Let's start um glossing over the matchups from Week 17. And boy, oh boy, this is by far the best game of the week. And I mean, there was so much at stake in this football game, Tad. So much at stake in this football game. I mean, when we're talking about, where you want to go, where you want to build, where you want to take your franchise to the next level, everything was at stake in this game. And yes, I'm talking about the Giants versus the Raiders, the Tank Bowl. I mean, attack. This really was a huge game. If you're talking in terms of the NFL draft, I mean, this game says this game told you everything that you needed to know in terms of the NFL draft for next season. And I mean, the scoreboard will show that the Giants technically won this game 34-10, but we all know who really remained victorious,
Mhm.
who really won in the long-term picture, that being the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, I'm not even being sarcastic. They truthfully did and I'm thinking to myself, why do the Giants keep scoring? Like
Yeah.
the Giants didn't understand the assignment in this game, Tad. And I mean, there was just a lot of Max Crosby didn't play. I mean, because he apparently had like a knee injury, I guess. Come on, we know that they're shutting him down for the season. They shut down Brock Bowers for the season. I mean, it's like, listen. The Raiders were making the right moves, but
Yeah.
to come out here and start Jackson Dart and Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary and why are you even risking getting these guys hurt? I mean, why do you keep scoring points? I mean, what? I don't know. What was your takeaway from the Tank Bowl?
I mean, the Giants, you got to get your players out there. I mean, you understand why they put the players out there. I mean, Jackson Dart needs experience. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously, the benefactor was the Raiders. The Raiders definitely treated the game as if it was a tank bowl, and I mean, the result shows it. They lost to a team that hadn't won a game in months. I mean, that's how it goes. Um, But yeah, I mean, obviously, like if you're the Giants, if you're the players on the field, obviously you have to take the game seriously. I mean, this is like a chance for you to like put good film on tape, stuff like that, continue to just go play. And I mean, that's what they did. I mean, they have to take the game seriously. I mean, so yeah, like you said, it's better for the Raiders to lose and put themselves in prime position. But I mean, just a tough look for the players. It's a really weird situation for the players to be in. And I mean, generally, like a lot of teams, some teams just continue to take the game seriously, and more often than not, in the long term, that maybe that builds a better culture. I mean, the Giants have had a bad culture for years. I mean, they have a culture of losing games for the past decade, give and take a year. But I mean, just got to learn how to win games. So I guess credit to the Giants players for coming out and taking the game seriously, even if it puts the franchise in a bit worse of a situation draft capital wise.
Yeah, yeah. So that is that. Giants win 34-10. Nobody covers the Tank Bowl the way we do on the Gridiron Glory. I mean, the Tank Bowl is just as important as the Super Bowl. I mean, everybody knows that. Yeah, Cincinnati and Arizona. Um, yeah, Joe Burrow going out there doing his Joe. You got Joe Burrow versus Jacoby Brissett. Bengals won 37-14. We will be doing season recaps during the Pro Bowl week, so stay tuned for that. We'll do season recaps. More info to come on that, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, the Bengals right now 6-10. Um, Arizona 3-13. I mean, this was a meaningless game for both teams, but just nice to see Joe Burrow going out there, doing his thing. Yeah, Chase Brown, 22 carries for 2 touchdowns. I personally think Chase Brown is an absolute beast. Tad may think, kind of thinks that Chase Brown's just a mid at best running back, but I personally feel like I'm a lot higher on Chase Brown than he is. And I mean, even Jamar Chase. So just but yeah, just a lot of chasing by the Arizona Cardinals defense
Yeah.
in this game.
Yeah, even some chasing Joe Flacco, who had 2 rushing yards in the game. I mean, you don't see a game where Joe Flacco has 2 rushing yards very often. So always good to see Joe Flacco come in the game, obviously getting towards the end of his NFL career. So yeah, the Bengals, they came out, they took the game seriously. Joe Burrow, you know what he can do when he's at the top of his game, and he was in this one, so they get the win. Cardinals have completely fallen off.
Do you think? I mean, yeah, for the Cardinals, it's just yeah, they've completely fallen off, and we'll get more into them during the season recaps. We'll kind of talk about the future for them and stuff, but they have totally and completely checked out for the season. And I mean, they're not even relevant anymore, even in a fantasy state. Like, because like fantasy owners, like the only reason you were going to go out of your way to like actually want to watch the Cardinals was for fantasy reasons. And now that the fantasy season's over, now they're completely irrelevant. So you don't even have the fun of like rooting for Jacoby Brissett in with garbage time stats. So
I
yeah.
mean, I'd say I'm kind of interested in whether or not Michael Wilson can get 1,000 yards. That's probably the last thing I'm interested in with this team.
Okay. Yeah. 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 For sure. I mean, Michael Wilson, he's had a very solid season, and I mean, it's just kind of sucks for him. Like,
Yeah,
the rest of his team hasn't met his performance level, but I mean, yeah, he himself is having an incredible season.
he's having a career year for sure.
Um, yeah, Saints and the Titans. The Saints win this game 34-26. Tad, the Saints have by far exceeded our expectations. I mean, we definitely did not expect them to have 6 wins. We, in fact, if I firmly remember, predicted them to be the worst team in the NFL preseason, and they have farly exceeded that. So, I mean, Chris Olave, it's nice to see him out there and getting healthy. Audric Estime, of course, Audric Estime with that touchdown at the end of the game that ultimately drove this team over. Um, and so it's just really nice to kind of see like Tyler Shuck kind of getting a better feel for things. Audric Estime, as I mentioned before. So when it comes to the New Orleans Saints, it's just a matter of like, can they keep some of this momentum even? Could they finish with 7 wins? And for the Titans, it's like, man, I mean, be proud of yourself that I mean you competed as hard as you did, but honestly, from a morale stand, if we're talking pure morale, the Titans really needed this win, especially when they had multiple opportunities to capitalize, but they really gave it up in the second half. I mean, the Saints, a credit to the Saints for having the incredible comeback that they did in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints, I mean, they've arguably since like they put Tyler Shuck into the lineup, they've arguably been the best team in the NFC South. I mean, at this point, which is crazy to say considering how things went in the preseason and all that. But the Saints, I mean, they're 6-10, and at this point, if they beat Atlanta, it's feasible that they could end up only being a game behind in the NFC South. Obviously, not enough time for them to come back and win it, but just the way they've continued to take the season seriously. I mean, I've been really impressed with what we've seen out of the Saints. I've been really impressed with what we've seen out of Tyler Shuck, who could end up being the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year with how well he's been playing since they put him in the game. I
Which
mean,
is which is mind blowing to even think about. So yeah, for the Saints, they will go on the road to play the Falcons to finish off their season. For the Titans, They go on the road to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, yeah, so Saints win 34-26. Any other final thoughts on this game? Saints
Mm.
Titans. Yeah, Jets and Patriots. So did you know that the New England Patriots are 8-0 on the road?
No, I did not off the top
So
of my head.
so if I'm the New England Patriots, I'd want to be a wild card team in the playoffs. I mean, the fact that they're a high seed is actually kind of scary in a sense because all three of their losses this season have come at home. So just something to be mindful of there. Meanwhile, the Jets are horrible at home. Well, actually, no, that they got the majority of their wins at home this season.
They're
So,
horrible everywhere.
um, I really didn't want to go like as directly as that, but like as far as like who's the worst team in the NFL right now, I mean, they're making probably the strongest case. Um, I mean, it's just how bad. Like, listen, Brady
Mhm.
Cook, it's
Mhm.
19 to 33 intercept. Listen, like the only player that like when I watch the New York Jets, think of the New York Jets that I'm even slightly remotely interested in. And again, I look at your shirt and I just think, man, Brees Hall is just such an incredible running back in the NFL. What do you think?
I mean, he is incredible. I mean, and the fact that he is stuck on this franchise is just very unfortunate. I mean, he's been stuck on teams that are just not very good for basically his entire career, collegiately and in the NFL. And I mean, you just gotta hope that for his sake that either the Jets turn it around or they do the right thing and let him loose, get him traded to a team that's going to be a serious football team. Because right now, I mean, the Jets, I mean, we talked about like how bad the Raiders were and what they did and how they tanked. The Jets, I don't even think they're tanking. I think this is just the accurate representation of the talent level of the team. They are just actually this bad. They don't even have to try to lose. They're just it just comes naturally.
Right, right. Yeah, the Jets have so many things to figure out going forward for their future. So just very heartbreaking to see everything that's just like I mean the Jets kind of had it's just been dumpster fire after dumpster fire with everything that
Mhm.
they've tried for the past 15 years. So yeah, Tad, your Vikings beat the Lions 23-10. Vikings are 8-8, and they could still finish the season with a winning record.
Yeah, I mean, eliminating Detroit on Christmas Day to get their second to last home game of the year. A very, very strange football game. I mean, this is a stunning change from the Vikings Lions season finale a year ago when the two teams were fighting for the one seed, and now both teams sit 8-8, eliminated from the playoffs. So Max Brosmer was out there as the Vikings quarterback, and he threw for 51 yards and he lost 48 yards on sack. That's three net passing yards. I mean, you never see a team win a football game with three net passing yards. I've never seen anything like it. But for that to happen, you have to have the other team turn the ball over six times. And that's exactly what Jared Goff and the Lions did. I mean, the two interceptions for Goff, the three lost fumbles, the fumble by Gibbs. I mean, Detroit did everything you can do to lose a football game in this game, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, just I can't remember a more disappointing season than what we've seen out of the Detroit Lions. I mean, this is a team that we both had high hopes for this year. I personally, I had Detroit representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, that's obviously a massive fall off from what any of us would have expected out of Detroit.
Yeah, though it's always great and awesome to see an Isaac T. Slaw touchdown, no matter where you are and who you are as an NFL fan. Isaac Tesla
Yeah.
touchdowns are just a must see at any given moment. I mean, I know it was against your team and everything, but Isaac T. Slaw touchdowns are super fun to see. Um, yeah, Christmas Day, we'll stay on that. Cowboys and Commanders. on Netflix. Cowboys won 30-23. Dak Prescott 19-37, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, a game between two NFC East rivals. I mean, at this point, it was kind of a weird game. I mean, Washington, they definitely, tried to make a comeback in the second half, but um, fell short, obviously. I kind of feel like they could have been, if they wanted to win this game, they could have been like a little bit more aggressive on a play or two with those field goal drives. But I mean, all in all, yeah, Cowboys won 30-23, and I mean it was Christmas, so I didn't like watch every last detail and second of this game. But yeah, I mean, good win for the Cowboys, right? I mean, beating a divisional rival is always good.
It's always nice to win a rivalry game. This was a very unserious football game between two unserious football teams. You kind of give the Commanders some grace because they have had a lot of injuries in the year. So, I mean, obviously, you're down your top two quarterbacks. Josh Johnson is a third string quarterback, and he plays like a third string quarterback. I mean, he did what
Right.
he could out there. He went out and he competed, but he's not a quarterback that you would expect to compete with the Cowboys. And I mean, for the Cowboys to even be in a position where they could lose this game, I mean, just incredible that it was even a game, in my opinion. The Cowboys, I expected them to win by a much wider margin, but I mean, the Cowboys defense, I mean, they have a lot of things to look at. I mean, the Cowboys just they are they have a lot of areas that they need to fix. And I mean, for them, they need a central executive that can think more critically and think more about roster building and how to put a roster together and not be ridiculous. So it's very interesting to see what you get out of Dallas. And we'll go more into that in the offseason recap stuff. But for now, I mean, Dak Prescott, he went out there, he did enough to win the game, 307 passing yards. I mean, he's got an outside chance to even lead the league in passing yards, which would be incredible to have a quarterback lead the league in passing yards and be eliminated from the playoffs. I mean, I think the same thing happened last year with Burrow, if I'm not mistaken, but just a very wild season for Dallas to not even have a chance to make the playoffs this late into the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, man, if they had like one more elite defensive player, I mean, who knows where that could have ended up. I mean, say you don't tie against the Packers, you're 8-8. You're going into the end of the season, being 9-8. I mean, I know that Philly is Philly, but I mean, just I don't know. Like
Mhm.
if they had like an elite defensive, even though they when they tied Green Bay, they were playing the defensive player that I'm hinting at. But yeah. Anyway, it's just been a weird season for the NFC East. The NFC, like, it's just crazy to me. Like at this point, I've only been viewing the NFC East from a cinematic standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, be sure to catch Hard Knocks in season with the NFC East on HBO Max if you're interested in that. Because this late in the season, I've only been caring about the NFC East from like a TV show cinematic standpoint. So I mean, like, yeah, like I think Dak is an incredible leader and he's a great guy for one. And shout out to Jadavion Clowney too, who's still rocking in the NFL. Seattle. Oh no, we'll keep it on Christmas Day. Denver versus Kansas City. Listen, Kansas City. I mean, they personally had me on the edge of my seat, and Denver, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I said, Denver kind of played sloppy. I kind of felt like a little. I felt like there was moments where the execution wasn't there. Especially in the first half, I kind of feel like we got off to a bit of a rough start in the first half, but then we remembered who we were, especially into the fourth quarter. So, I mean, but shout out to Kansas City. I mean, they played a really good game. Alota Kun is, I mean, he did what he could. I mean, he's a third string quarterback, who was
Yeah.
not expecting whatsoever. I mean, when you're the third string quarterback to Patrick Mahomes, I mean, what's the realistic chance you actually expect to play in the season? But hey, he got called upon, and I mean, he's doing the best he can. Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelsey. Could this have been the last Travis Kelsey game we ever saw at Arrowhead Stadium? I mean, yeah, when it is all, if this was Travis Kelsey's last ever Arrowhead game, I mean, first of all, what's your thought on that? Do you think that's realistic or?
Yeah, I think it's fair to strongly consider that that could be the last time we see him in that stadium as a starting tight end, which is just an incredible bummer of a season to go out if that's the way it is. So maybe he tries to come back for one more year, but at this point, I'd kind of be surprised if he's not ready to look at what's next in life after football.
Well, I could honestly see him doing more football just without the pads and the helmet on. I could see Travis being an incredible role in like as an analyst or a reporter or something like that. I mean, his brother Jason is still very much involved, so you know,
Hmm.
I could see maybe Jason and Travis taking their podcast to a whole nother level. Um,
Yeah, I could see that.
so yeah, but not to the level that Gridiron Glory takes it, of course. I'm kidding, obviously. We wish we could be the Kelsey brothers. Let's see here. Yeah, that covers the Christmas Day slate. Yeah, we'll jump into the Saturday slate. Yeah, Houston versus the Chargers. And when I look at this matchup, major AFC playoff implications. This was a game the Chargers absolutely had to have. I mean, both teams had to have this game, but man, if the Chargers had to have this game for the sakes of them wanting to win the AFC West and get a higher seed. And as far as that went, Houston came off, they got off to a really strong start. CJ Stroud, 16 to 28, 2 touchdowns. And then, I mean, obviously, he did throw the 2 interceptions. Um, but Justin Herbert, I mean, did what he could in the second half to try to will his team back into it. But, I mean, credit to Houston. They played a really good game. They competed. They did all the right things, especially at the end of the game. I mean, they fought off a very, very feisty Chargers team and just, like there were moments like where I was thinking, man, the Chargers are going to come back. They're going to, try to come back and win this thing in front of their home fans. I mean, the time of possession was pretty even. The Texans committed 8 penalties, though. Still find a way to win. Chargers did win the turnover battle. Um, And I mean, even with that rushing touchdown at the end of the game, I mean, the 7 play, 75-yard drive where Omarion Hampton rushed it in. Um, yeah, Tad, where do you rank Omarion Hampton amongst starting running backs in the league?
I mean, he's had an unfortunate year with all the injuries and stuff he's had to work through. I think he's an incredible player, and I think he's going to be primed for a breakout year if he can stay healthy next year. If they can get this offensive line fixed. I mean, I shouldn't say fixed. If they could get the offensive line healthy, let's call it what it is. I mean, three of their best offensive linemen are injured. So that's kind of why I have a hard time taking the Chargers seriously this year. I don't think they're going to be very game in the playoffs. I mean, Justin Herbert is
Also,
not
five
exactly
sacks.
known for making runs in the playoffs, and now he's working with a severely hampered offensive line. I don't expect the Chargers to win a game in the playoffs myself, but we'll see.
And I haven't heard the plans for Week 18 when they go on the road to play the Broncos. I
They're
do
going to be resting a lot of players. Justin Herbert will not be playing, that's for sure, and they'll be resting a lot of players.
so. Trey Lance, then, right?
Yeah, Trey Lance is starting the game. Yeah.
I'm actually personally very excited for that, even as a Broncos fan, because I'm just a big, giant Trey Lance fan. I personally am an advocate that Trey Lance got screwed out of being a starting quarterback in the NFL. simply via an injury. He got injured the first, like he was named he won the starting job in San Francisco, gets injured the very first game. Jimmy Garoppolo comes in and takes over. Then Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, and then they give who the current starting quarterback is the job, number
Mhm.
13, Mr. Brock Purdy. So I kind of just really feel like Trey Lance got screwed out of being a starting quarterback in the NFL. And I just love his resiliency. I loved who he was at North Dakota State. I mean, I'm just a big Trey Lance fan. So I'm very excited to see how he does against us.
One thing I do want to say for Houston is I was really impressed that they didn't give up a single sack in this game.
Oh
For
yeah, consider
an
yeah,
offensive line that's really had their struggles. Um, and it's a different situation than the Chargers. This is the starting offensive line for the Texans. They're just have had a lot of struggles throughout the year, and they just need to play better. And maybe this is a start. We'll see, but I think, like I said in the playoff preview stuff, I think that Houston is a team that, if the offensive line can put it together, I think this is a dangerous team that could potentially make a run. I mean, you have a very strong defense, one of the best defensive lines in the league, one of the best defenses in the league
yeah,
overall. I mean, Daniil Hunter, you got Derek Stingley Jr. in the defensive backfield, obviously Anderson. I mean, this is a team that if the offense can put it together, and that is a huge if. I mean, we don't know if they can make a run if the offense can, but the defense is going to be there, and it's going to give the offense every chance to make a run. So we'll see how that goes.
yes, absolutely, 100%. Um, it's defense wins championships. So I, I mean, listen, with the offensive line for Houston,
Mhm.
they were let's not forget they were preseason ranked number 32 out of 32 teams on PFF. They lost Shaq Mason. They didn't have Laramie Tunsil. I mean when you lose like one of the best offensive linemen, in the entire league, especially the left tackle position, that can be tough. But you got to have the next man up mentality, and I'm very excited to see what Houston's offensive line can keep bringing to the table, and it'll be very interesting to kind of dive into them deeper with their season recap and season preview even next year. So we'll see how the transgression for the Houston offensive line continues. I hope it continues to be upward. Like I said, this was major that C.J. Stroud was only sacked 0 times in this football game. So
Yeah.
yeah. As opposed to Justin Herbert getting sacked 5 times. I mean, I'd really hate to. I mean, that is quite literally to me the best way to evaluate an offensive line performance is how many times did you allow your quarterback to get sacked? Because that's your main number one job is to keep him upright. So if you're not keeping your quarterback upright, you as an offensive line unit are doing something wrong. So yeah. Houston versus the Chargers. There's that. Baltimore against Green Bay. Tad, I'll let you speak on this game a little bit more in depth. Obviously, I know that as a Minnesota Vikings fan, you're a huge fan of this result.
I mean, it was a very intriguing result for sure. Um, Baltimore gotta have it game. If you lose this game, you're eliminated from the playoffs. Coming in, they knew even if they won, they knew there was a low chance that they would stay alive with the Pittsburgh Cleveland game that we'll get to. But still, you gotta go. You gotta take care of your business before you would worry about anything else. And they did just that. They remembered who they were. They remembered who Derrick Henry is, one of the best running backs in the history of the National Football League. 36 carries, 216 yards, the 4 touchdowns. The King reclaims his throne as one of the most dominant forces in the league. I mean, moving up all the leaderboards historically, just rushing touchdowns, rushing yards. I mean, 200-yard games. I mean, this might be one of the most dominant running back forces of his generation. I think that he is a generational running back, and with that performance, you can win a game with Tyler Huntley, your backup quarterback. In a game you gotta have. told Derrick Henry, "You're gonna go win us this game," and he did just that. So a legacy performance out of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson will play in Week 18, and that's going to
Yes.
be absolutely huge for an elimination game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, you win this game, you set yourself up for yet one more week. You live to see another day. You live like you can still see the light at the end of the tunnel, the very dark, deep tunnel, but you can still see some light at the end of it if you're the Ravens. And you'll see even more of that light if you beat the Steelers. I mean, as you'll get a home
Mhm.
playoff game if you do. So, but nonetheless, I feel like where would you rank Tyler Huntley amongst backup quarterbacks in the league? I would personally have him a bit more on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to backups, but I mean, still solid enough.
Hey, that's Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley you're talking about. He has made the Pro Bowl in the past. I mean, I think he's an incredibly serviceable quarterback. He knows his role. I think in terms of like executing what you ask Tyler Huntley to do, I mean, he goes and he executes a game very well. You have to remember he has gone into Lambeau to beat the Packers in a game that they absolutely had to win. That was a very strong performance earlier in the year in a home game against the Chicago Bears. He starts 17 out of 22, 186, a touchdown, a game they had to have. They win that game. So if they do end up making the playoffs, Tyler Huntley is going to be a big part of that, and he deserves a lot of credit for the way he's came into the season, the way he took this year seriously, the way he wanted to come back to Baltimore to give them a push when Lamar was out, and a lot of credit for what he was willing to do. So I'd say that his performance has been nothing short of admirable.
Absolutely. You were mentioning that Browns Steelers game. Let's get into it. The Browns get their fourth win of the season, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers 13-6. Yes, they do beat themselves a lot. Yes, they do that quite a bit too. But this time they didn't. Tad, we predicted with the Cleveland Browns front seven defensive line that alone would get them at least 4 wins this season. So we called
Here
that
we are.
prediction. We called that prediction. We said they would get. They said with that front seven, it at least get them 4 wins. So here we are. Do they get a fifth win against their in-state rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals? I mean, we're gonna see. But yeah, Miles Garrett chasing the sack record. I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing that you're looking for in this game. And I mean, as far as the Steelers, listen, here's the thing. They've already gotten their 9 wins. And so, listen, we predicted the Cleveland Browns pretty spot on. We predicted this to be pretty spot on with where they're at right now. And same with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, we both of the predictions that we made in preseason for these teams are living up. I mean, listen, and especially if the Ravens end up winning that game, which I will go ahead and pick Baltimore to win it because I mean, once Mike Tomlin gets his winning season secured, I mean, it made all the set like this. Like I look at the score, I look at the records, I look at the scenarios, and just
Mhm.
the score, the storylines, everything that we know as football fans. This game and this result just made sense.
It just made sense, yeah. And you know, Aaron Rodgers was going to do whatever he could to not be the quarterback that sets the sack record for Myles Garrett. That was his main concern in the game. He wasn't concerned about winning the game. He was concerned about not being the quarterback that they're going to show in the videos with the record on the line for the next 20 years. I mean, he wasn't going to be that guy. And that is how they played. That is how they coached. They coached to not give up the sack record, not to win the game. That was a really interesting job by Pittsburgh. And I mean, next week it's Cincinnati's offensive line that has to try to preserve the sack record. Good luck, Cincinnati. I mean, I think that it's going to be very likely that Miles sets the record against that offensive line. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, for Pittsburgh, they didn't take the game seriously enough. I mean, they had every chance to go win that game. I mean, even at the end, they get into a chance where they can tie the game with a touchdown, maybe even go for two and win it, but they just can't convert when it matters the most. I mean, Aaron Rodgers did not have a good performance. I mean, he is not the Aaron Rodgers we're accustomed to seeing. So I agree, and I think Baltimore's going to end up taking the division, but we'll just see. I mean, we'll see if Pittsburgh takes that game a little more seriously.
But we got to talk about the biggest storyline in the 2025 NFL draft. Shador Sanders, he was the biggest storyline of the draft. And now here he is, I mean, getting starting time in the NFL. He said that he was going to make every team pay. I mean, every team in the league passed up on drafting him. I mean, listen, Shador said he was going to make every team pay. And I mean, he made the Steelers pay in this game. I mean, yeah, he threw the two interceptions, but, 17 of 23, 186 yards. He did have a touchdown. I mean, a lot to be desired with the quarterback rating. But listen, I mean, football's a team sport, and he made the Steelers pay.
Yeah, a very interesting take there. I mean, Shador, I mean, with the Cleveland quarterback room, there's a lot of questions. I mean, nobody really knows what is going on there. Um, Obviously, Shador is one of the most, um, I don't know if I want to say like overanalyzed, but he is one of, well, he's certainly overcriticized. I mean, he is not as bad as some people make him out to be, and maybe he's not as good as some people make him out to be. I mean, there are a lot of like polar opposite opinions of Shador Sanders, so it's really hard to put his rookie year into perspective. I mean, he's had some moments that were good and some moments that were significantly less good. So I don't know. I think the verdict is still out on Shador Sanders. Um, and just with the way the media covers him, I think it's going to be really hard for him to like get a consistent foothold. That's a really tough situation for him.
Yeah, it really is. But hey, keep trucking, Shador. Keep trucking. Um, Yeah, the battle for Florida. Miami comes out here. Mike McDaniels, does Mike McDaniels save his job in this game? I mean, Tampa Bay, it's like, I don't know. Baker Mayfield, despite throwing for 346 yards, just has not looked like the Baker Mayfield that, we're so used to seeing. I mean, just not your typical Baker Mayfield, I guess. I mean, if we're basing it off of like how he played earlier this season, um, but yeah, it's always great to see Mike Evans go out there and score touchdowns, and Chris Godwin to score touchdowns, and Chase McLaughlin to kick field goals. That's all great stuff. But Miami, I mean, Miami came out here and they played a pretty good game. I mean, three touchdowns in the first half. So, oh no, sorry, two touchdowns in the first half with a field goal that brought them up 17-7, and then yeah, of course the Riley Patterson field goal in the fourth. So Tampa Bay was, trying to be the more resilient team in the second half. Uh, but all in all, I mean, Miami, they made the plays, they made the moves, they got the stops they needed. I mean, football is a game of inches. And I mean, obviously, turning the ball over three times for Tampa Bay did them no favors.
Yeah, I mean, the three turnovers by Baker Mayfield, that was just a very rough situation. I mean, you had Baker Mayfield against Quinn Ewers, and Quinn Ewers was a bit more composed in the game. I mean,
And
his stats weren't quite as big. I mean, he had the 346 for Baker compared to 172, but Quinn Ewers made the winning plays, the two touchdown passes, no turnovers. So I don't know. I thought it's a very interesting situation there with Miami
and
evaluating Quinn Ewers.
and where would you rank Quinn Ewers amongst Week 17 starting quarterbacks?
I mean,
Solely based off of Week 17 performances.
he was certainly passable. I mean, he had a very strong performance, I thought. I mean, the two touchdowns, the long touchdown to Theo Weiss Jr., I believe that was his first touchdown. Greg Dulcich, the touchdown. I mean, I'd say he had a fairly average to above average performance, which in one of his first career starts, you like to see that. I mean, and Who knows if, I mean, Miami is fully willing to turn the reins over to him or not. I mean, whatever happens with Tua, that's an interesting question. But I thought Quinn Ewers has looked good throughout his early career.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, the future for Tua very much up in the air. Like whether or not Tua, gets traded to another team or, I mean, there are teams out there that I feel could benefit from the services of Tua Tagovailoa. So, I certainly like full heartedly believe that there are teams out there that could benefit from that. So we'll see. You know, or Tua turn the ball over. I mean, which is why he got benched. I feel like, but yeah. So Miami, they win the Battle of Florida. I don't know if they're exactly the Kings of Florida. Let me just clarify to see if they are the official Kings. Yeah, they didn't play the Jaguars, so to be determined. Well, actually, if you want to count their preseason victory against the Jaguars, then by that virtue of law, they are the Kings of Florida. But if you don't, then it doesn't really matter. Just a side note on that. But but yeah, as my co-host is just shaking shit SMDH at me, because you know he thinks that those things are just of the absolute most importance. I'm kidding. But yeah, Seattle versus Carolina. I mean, yeah, the Bryce Young Chronicles. Man, I mean, there's moment like I mean the 8-8. Listen, the 8-8 record. The 8-8 record says everything that you need to know about how Bryce Young's season has been going. But Seattle, I mean, they can like this was a game that Carolina. I don't want to sit here and say they absolutely had to have, but it would have been a statement game if they would have been able to beat Seattle. They could have made a statement to the NFL, but instead Seattle makes a statement and Seattle goes on the road. They prove that they're the better team and they weren't phased whatsoever about being on the road against what they felt like a mid NFC team. So, I mean, yeah, I do want to know. I do want to get your thoughts and opinions, though. I mean, when Carolina was down 17-3, and then obviously Bryce Young on that 13-play, 69-yard drive that took 6 minutes and 51 seconds. Yeah, what were your thoughts? What were your emotions? What was going through your head when Bryce Young ran in for that touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe they'd have a chance to come back at that point. I mean, at that point, they were very much game to make a comeback. They could have gotten a stop on the next drive. Obviously, it was a very rough game for Bryce Young statistically. I mean, you just really never know what you're going to get if you're Carolina. I mean, it's been a lot of inconsistency, but still, I mean, somehow, despite all of their struggles, they had every chance to make a comeback late in the game. And then you just have that big penalty on the next drive. I mean, they had a chance to get a big stop, but there was the face mask by Horn. I mean, you would never expect that out of a player of Horn's caliber. One of the best cornerbacks in the league. And I mean, a brutal moment on that 3rd down and 21 where you get the stop, you get the ball back down by a touchdown. Instead, you give up the conversion and then you end up eventually giving up a field goal and you never touch the ball with a real chance to win again. That's just a brutal situation for Carolina to be in. I mean, there were a lot of things that could have swung this game, but I mean, it was a one-score game late in the game. I mean, as crazy as it is with how the margin ended up, but I don't know. Carolina, I mean, a very inconsistent team. I mean, they can beat teams like the Rams and then they can play like this.
Does that speak more to the coach, the defense, the quarterback? Just they're still trying to figure out. Like I have personally been a fan. Like we were talking to like 2 seasons ago about how Carolina was the worst team in the NFL 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And they have slowly been scratching and clawing their way back. And you and me love to see it. So
Mhm.
who knows what's in store for them even next season, if they're able to build off of this season. But, just
I mean,
like
I have
like like
been
what is this just a part of the growing pains of the rebuild, or does something still need to be rebuilt even deeper?
I would say this is the first season that they have been like a legitimate, I don't know if I want to say threat, but like a legitimate season where they can make a legit postseason run. That's what I'm saying. Like a run to make the postseason. And I mean, they've had their moments where they've looked like a team that belongs in the postseason, and they've had their moments where they still look like a team that is one of the worst teams in the league. So I mean, it's confounding. I have always been a big fan of Dave Canales as a culture guy, and I think that next year is going to be a big year for them to determine what they really are. I mean, because next year they're going to be a team that you expect them to be a bit more competitive, maybe next year. I mean, we'll see like what they do with like, excuse me, with the Bryce Young situation with like his contract. I think they need to give him a fifth year option, or do they give him a second contract? What do they do with that? I think it's likely they go fifth year option, and then we'll evaluate from there. But if they could make the playoffs this year, that would be a big step forward, obviously. Even if they don't, this is still the most competitive they've been. But if you can go beat Tampa Bay and earn a playoff spot that way, that'd be a big statement win, I think.
Yeah, it would be. It would be a big statement win, absolutely. So, um, I certainly believe that they have that potential, and the only one that's in their way is them.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
that's kind of how I feel about that. Philadelphia versus Buffalo. I mean, it was 13-0 going into. Listen, I want to start off by saying that this was a very weird football game, in my opinion. It was just weird. Like the weather was weird, the atmosphere was weird, the vibes of it were weird. Watching it on TV was kind of weird. I mean, and very specifically that throw at the very end when you have a chance to win this football game 14-13 instead of lose it 13-12. Yeah, what was your thoughts? What was your emotions on that very, very last play when Josh Allen needed that 2-point conversion?
Why are you going for two, Buffalo? What are you doing? Philadelphia can't move the ball. They can't complete a forward pass. They can hardly complete any pass. They haven't scored since before halftime. You have all the momentum. Kick the field goal, tie the game, go to overtime. I mean, I thought it was a befuddling situation for them to go for two. I mean, they felt they had a play to win the game. I mean, credit to them. They felt that they had a play that would go out there and win the game right then and there, and they just didn't execute it. But I think they would have had a great chance if they would have went to overtime there. Anyways, with all that said, it was a befuddling game. Like you said, just something felt off for both teams. And I mean, these teams are very hard to take seriously when they play like this. I mean, we've seen what the Eagles can do on defense, especially, I should say, the Eagles. I mean, they win with their incredible defense, and that's what they had to do in this game. They ended up having to hold on at the end because, like I said, they couldn't move the ball to save their life in the second half. That was one of the worst offensive halves of football from a supposed contending team that we've seen in a long time. And if they want to win in the playoffs against teams like, I don't know, the Rams, Seattle, you're going to have to move the ball a heck of a lot better than they did in that second half. That was just a really surprising. Well, was it really surprising? I mean, we've seen them do it before, I guess, but are the Eagles going to take the offense more seriously in the playoffs? They're going to have to if they want to legitimately move on in the playoffs and defend their championship.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles are kind of like a weird 11-5 team this year. I mean, like I could sit here and like this, like I could sit here and say that this was a Super Bowl preview. I mean, I at least wanted to like believe that. I want to say that like these two teams like have strong cases to make the Super Bowl, but like to me, it was kind of like how do you put up 0 points in the second half? I mean,
Yeah.
credit to Buffalo and everything like that, but like this was just like I said, like a very weird football game. And I get that the weather did play a big factor in this one. That's why you didn't really see too much out of the Philly receiving room. That's not. I mean, both receiving rooms were very quiet. I mean, even the running back rooms were like kind of weird in this one. But I mean, like Josh Allen rushed for both of Buffalo's touchdowns. Um, so I mean, and Dallas Goddard did catch that one touchdown for Philly, and yeah, like it was just like a weird game. But like, yeah, for Philly, it's just I don't know. You have a chance in Week 18 to get some momentum back by beating your divisional rival, the Commanders. So for Philly, it's just I don't know if like they're that like they definitely have a lot of
Mhm.
things to evaluate within themselves for the playoffs. Still,
And surprisingly, I'm kind of surprised with this for Philly. They are resting some of their starters. Like Jalen Hurts is not starting week 18, which I found very surprising. They're gonna go with Tanner McKee to start. Um
I mean, you want to
maybe
protect your franchise quarterback to be healthy for the
you
playoff
you
game.
want to protect your quarterback, but you also want to like get your offense a lot more in rhythm. And also you still have a two seed to play for. I mean, you might have a chance for a two seed. Maybe they think so lowly of Washington that they don't need their starters to beat them. I don't know if that's a factor. Maybe you just don't think there's a chance Chicago loses. I don't know, but just something doesn't seem right with Philly. I don't know. I That is not a team I trust right now.
Yeah, and I mean it's a fair assessment because I mean you have other teams in the NFC that are making really good cases for themselves to go on a
Mm.
Super Bowl run to make the playoffs to I mean not just make the playoffs but to absolutely excel and thrive in a multitude of different ways. And yes, I'm talking about two teams in the NFC, the Rams and the Falcons. Had you there, didn't I? Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about the Rams and the Falcons real quick. Um, yeah, 27 to 24. Listen, I do mean a lot of positive things about the Atlanta Falcons. For me, with the Atlanta Falcons, it's just like they've been playing some good football the last end part of the season here, but just kind of too late to get it going. Not only that, but injuries and everything like that. They've had some injuries. They've had some inconsistent moments, but this was a very fun game to watch. Kirk Cousins, of course, getting a legacy drive at the end of this. Kirk Cousins' legacy drives are to live for. Matthew Stafford throwing three interceptions in this football game. God, if anything, I think this was the game that the Rams needed just before the playoffs because this was like, they're going to go back on, they're going to go back, they're going to watch film on this game. They're going to realize like all the things that they need to clean up for the playoffs. And it's almost like a blessing, I believe. I believe that for the long term, if the Rams, because I'm going to pick the Rams to be my NFC favorite right now, like to come out of the NFC. I mean, like I know that Philly's probably a hard second, but if I absolutely had to put like all my money on the table, I'd probably do it on LA. I do believe they're the most like well-rounded, complete team, probably in all of football. But I think that they absolutely needed a game like this. I think they needed like a humbling experience like this on the road on national primetime television. I mean, but yeah, Puka Nakua, 5 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown. And there was even a play where, I mean, it was like the most incredible catch that you've ever seen in your life that
mhm.
didn't count.
Yeah, I mean, Puka's incredible. I don't really share that view of the Rams' performance. I feel like this was a major concern the way they played. I would have hoped that the way they ended the game against Seattle would have been that wake-up call that they needed. They certainly did not get it. Um, Maybe they needed another one. I don't know, but right now they're just not playing good football. Um,
Well, they'd rather get the bad football out of the way now. You don't want the bad football to bleed into January.
in a way, yeah. In a way, yeah. The Rams, I mean, Matthew Stafford, it feels like he really threw away a good chance to win the MVP with his 3 interceptions. That's very
Yeah.
unfortunate for a very high level quarterback. I felt for most of the season that he had that pretty much on lock, and then Drake May goes and plays the Jets. That's really all that needs to be said with what he did. He went out and played a perfect game about against the Jets, and Stafford does what he does on national television. That's very much unfortunate how that ended up, but he had the chance and it just didn't work out. I'm very concerned with the Rams and how they look. Can their defense hold up when it matters the most? They certainly did not against Atlanta. And honestly, they were one big blocked field goal returned for a touchdown away from not even being close. I mean, this wasn't even a competitive game until they blocked that field goal and scored the touchdown. Just the way things go, I mean, like you said, Atlanta, they do deserve a lot of credit. They have been playing very good football the past month. And it's crazy to think that if they could have simply beaten the New York Jets, they'd still be very much alive to win the NFC South. I mean, they were one of the few teams that actually somehow found a way to lose to the New York Jets. So I don't know. I mean, just a very crazy season. And I do agree that the Rams are a very complete team. They're a team that should be the best team. They should be the team that has the best chance to win the NFC. But are they a team that I'm going to trust to win on the road 3 times to go to the Super Bowl? I don't know. I mean, with how they looked in Atlanta, I have a hard time doing that. I think that Matthew Stafford is a quarterback that I'd like to trust to do that. He's won in the playoffs before. He's won on the road before. Can they go do it? At this point, I kind of want to see it to believe it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's a very fair assessment. I mean, the Rams, it's they're maybe like, and I feel like some like we see it every year in sports, not just the NFL, but every sport. We'll see a team that like they'll do really really good. We'll hype them up. We think that they're on to just achieve incredible great things, but then they have their moments, or even like one moment. They'll have at least
Mhm.
one moment. But the last couple of weeks, it's like the Rams are having a couple of moments. And in that game
Yeah.
against the Seahawks, listen, I mean, you mentioned that game against the Seahawks. That game could have really gone either way. And I mean, I don't want to sit here and take away from the fact that the Rams offense at least did everything they could to win that game, but the Rams
Not
defense
towards the
up.
end.
What?
Not towards the end. They had plenty of chances to get first downs to put that game away, and they did not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was such a 50-50 game. Like, it's kind of like I get where you're coming from. Like, this is a results based league. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, it's a results based league, but I mean, still, that game could have really gone either way. But
Yeah.
now we kind of are, I guess, like going with the Rams. But I'll still have faith in them. I'll still have some faith in them, man. Until they're eliminated, I think they have a fighting chance to win the Super Bowl. Um,
For sure.
but who even has a bigger chance of winning the Super Bowl? I mean, it's a franchise that's done it multiple times already. It's a franchise that's been to the Super Bowl multiple times already. It's a starting quarterback that's already been to the Super Bowl once already in his career. Yes, and I'm talking about Brock Purdy. I saved the absolute best for last for you, Tad Dorsey, as I see your shirt and everything. Yeah, Brock Purdy, the starting quarterback who won this game. He goes 24 of 33, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Yes, Brock Purdy, the most overhyped quarterback in NFL history. Um, and I will stay on that until the day I die. I mean, Brock Purdy, he's just absolutely incredible. He's just such a humble guy. It was his birthday this past Saturday, so he gets an early birthday present with this win. So, or no, it was his birthday, and then the game happened the next day. So yeah, he gets a very solid birthday present with this win. I mean, but I don't want to discredit Caleb Williams. I mean, both of these quarterbacks, threw for over 300 plus yards, and I mean, this was just a very. I mean, you want to talk about pure cinema? You want to talk about a
Mhm.
movie? Like this was an NFL movie. This football game. I mean, this was a football game that had you on the edge of your seat the entire time. It was blow for blow. It was back and forth. It was fun. It was exciting. You weren't sure who was going to win. And I mean, even when the Bears went up 38-35 there at the end,
Mhm.
I'm like, man, does Brock Purdy have another one in him? And I mean, you had Brock Purdy out there doing the Dougie. I mean, all on that
Yeah.
final touchdown. So I mean, Brock Purdy was just out there living his absolute best life with 5 total touchdowns, 24 of 33, as I said, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns. He only did throw the one interception. His offensive line did an incredible job in this football game. I mean, 6 carries for 28 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he carried the passing room and the rushing room. I'm kidding, obviously, but yeah. With that being said, where do you currently rank on the very current season, Brock Purdy, amongst starting quarterbacks in the league? As I see your shirt there, yes.
And I mean, you do have to remember that a lot of the wins that San Francisco got this season are solely due to Mac Jones playing quarterback. So I think that has to be factored into the ranking. But no, on a serious note, I mean, Purdy's had an incredible year. I mean, just one loss on the year in games that he's played. He is 7-1. I mean, has them in contention for the 1 seed. Just played after the first pass of the game, which was a pick six, he played a perfect game after that almost. I mean, just that's how you win a game. I mean, you got to feel that like as soon as Chicago kicked that field goal, which was the first field goal of the game, it was all touchdowns before that. When they kicked the field goal, you had to feel like they were not going to win the game. I mean, I don't know, just a very crazy way for that to go. And I mean, I guess after that, they did still have a chance to win. They had that 15-yard drive at the end, which they couldn't quite get the ball into the end zone at time. They got it down to the 2-yard line, and they just didn't have the plays. So just a very tough situation for Chicago. Both of these teams they were playing had a chance for the number 1 seed going into the game. And now San Francisco, you go beat Seattle, you're the number 1 seed. Chicago, you're still playing for the number 2 seed. So these are obviously two teams that have had incredible seasons. Chicago, they have found a way to pull the rabbit out of the hat in a lot of games like this. They were not able to do so. They just ran out of time. Couldn't
Yep.
execute at the goal line. So I don't
And
know. Just two very interesting teams.
and the magician, if you will, Caleb Williams, was trying to go to his top assistant, if you will, Luther Burden the third in this game, 8 catches for 138 yards and a touchdown. Now, this is a receiver that doesn't really get talked about a whole lot, but has been sneakily very good at moments throughout the season. Yeah, we're personally, I'm kind of big on Luther Burden the third. Where do you rank him?
I mean, he's had a quiet season for the most part. Only 44 catches, 617, two
The
touchdowns.
rookie out of Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought he'd come in and have a bit more of an impact. It's been a weird season for the Chicago receiver room. I mean, Rome Odunze had that incredible start, and then he's kind of slowed down fairly significantly since then. Holston Loveland's came on. Jide Walker's had some big moments. He's another underrated rookie. He had that big touchdown against the Packers. So just a really weird situation there. You never know what you're going to get out of DJ Moore. Quite inconsistent. So you got some pieces. They just haven't really figured out what the pecking order is yet. So I
Yes.
don't know. Chicago is a very strange team that finds a way to lose, to not to lose, to win, I should say, to win a lot of close games. That it feels like they have no business winning, but they end up winning the game. You think like the Green Bay game, the Cincinnati game, um, the Minnesota game that they won.
Yeah.
So I
But I
don't know.
mean,
I mean, When I think of Chicago, I compare them to the 2022 Vikings team. I'm a Vikings fan, so that's kind of just what comes to my head first. But I compare them to the 2022 Vikings team that had all those comeback wins that beat Buffalo with that incredible Justin Jefferson catch that many people probably remember. Maybe not, maybe they do, but so I don't know. I mean, I feel like Chicago has a lot of interesting pieces. Can they put it together for a playoff run? I don't know. That Vikings team did not. So with that comparison, I don't know what that looks like in the playoffs. Caleb Williams, it'll be his first playoff run, so I'm interested to see how he looks. But anyways, winning the division for them, that's a big deal. So credit to them for that.
Credit to them for that. I do want to. I think it's absolutely worth noting. I want to pull up. Well, specifically, I mean, first of all, I must say that Jake Tonga's touchdowns are absolutely incredible. 7 catches for
Yes.
60 yards and a touchdown. But I want to specifically talk about the Kyle Juszczyk touchdown because
Yeah.
when Brock Purdy made that incredible play where he scrambled out of the pocket and found Kyle Juszczyk in the end zone, when they were replaying that on Sunday Night Football on the NBC broadcast, I do want to quote Chris Collinsworth. Chris Collinsworth specifically said, "Man, and look at Brock Purdy out here." Quote, and he literally said, and I quote, "You
Uh-huh.
can pull this up carrying the 49ers." So I just wanted to say that that might be worth mentioning that a pro football analyst on national television said that about Brock Purdy. But make of that what you will.
Are you sure he wasn't talking about Kyle Juszczyk himself? I mean, because we all know that Kyle Juszczyk is the real engine that leads the 49ers
I
offense, the
mean,
Pro Bowl fullback.
Kyle Juszczyk is the best fullback in the NFL. Make no question, doubts
Oh,
about that. But I mean, Chris Collinsworth specifically said Brock Purdy is carrying the 49ers. I
do
mean,
you think he might have just confused the two? I mean, it's really easy to like confuse the name Brock Purdy for Kyle Juszczyk. I mean, it sounds quite similar.
I,
I don't know. That was
I
maybe
think
that
I
got his
think
tongue.
I think Iowa fans who wish they had a quarterback like Brock Purdy in the NFL would say something like that. But yeah. But Iowa produces phenomenal tight ends in the
Tight end.
NFL
Yep.
who doesn't look like he played.
He was out. Yeah, Kittle was out. He'll be back this week.
So yeah, I mean Iowa does produce some tight ends for sure um, into the NFL and lots of defensive players. So yeah, I mean, if you're a resident in the state of Iowa, I mean, you just might have to embrace and accept the fact that, I mean, it might be that school in Ames that produces quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm not sure.
Quarterback, not plural. That's a singular quarterback. I mean, they don't have another quarterback in the league. I mean, they won't have another now that Rocco Beck left for another school. So we'll see how that goes. Good old transfer portal season. So we'll see how that goes.
Yep. But anyways, I'm just very excited to see what the 49ers can do. I mean, they're an incredible team, and
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to necessarily be 12-4, but huge game next week versus the
Mhm.
Seattle Seahawks, and I mean that could determine the division, that could determine the 1 seed. I mean the Rams, I mean they can still sneak away, but they need help. Obviously, I'm not sure what the exact scenarios that need to happen are.
They can't win the division. They're out of the division race. They can sneak up to the 5 seed. That's the best the Rams can do.
So the Seattle versus San Francisco game is the NFC West Championship tomorrow night. So, yep, that's going to be a very fun game.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see what the starting quarterback in the NFL out of Iowa State does. But yeah.
Speaking of NFL starting quarterbacks, there is one last game that we do have to touch on. Jacksonville and Indianapolis. We do have to talk about the swan song for Philip Rivers very briefly. This
Oh
will
yes,
be
yes.
the
Thank you for.
final game of
We saved the
Philip
best for last.
Rivers'
Yes.
NFL career. It will be Riley Leonard starting for the Colts, week 18. So, an ode to Philip Rivers, 17 out of 30, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He did have -1 rushing yards. So, if you were interested in a season long Philip Rivers over under rushing prop, that could be significant. But just an incredible story for Philip Rivers to come out of retirement 5 years and start 3 games in the NFL. Just incredible
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, listen, nothing else matters. Like, yeah, the Jacksonville won 23 to
Mhm.
17. That's all great. Like, but nothing else matters when we're talking about this particular football game. And yeah, thank you so much for catching it. This is the true best for last right here. I mean, yeah, Philip Rivers. Listen, I personally enjoyed watching Philip Rivers come back into the NFL. It was exactly what everybody needed. We as
Mm.
football fans needed it. Not even football fans, just humanity
Weird
needed it.
people.
We the people needed it. I mean, I even felt like it was worthy enough to put him in my fantasy starting lineup. I mean, did he
Mhm.
give me enough points in one of my leagues to not be last place? No, but it didn't matter to me. And then in my other league, I started him and I won the championship. So Philip Rivers got to be a part of a last place run and a championship run in both of my leagues. Completely opposite vibes there. But yeah, nonetheless, it was good for football. It was good for the people. You know, Philip Rivers coming back just showed. I mean, I don't know if Philip Rivers coming back showed that there's a like did the like we might be having an epidemic in the NFL right now with backup quarterbacks. You know, like back in the day, you used to have like backup quarterbacks that could come in and like you'd have like Matt Flynn's that could come in and throw 6 touchdowns. You could have guys like John Kitna that could be serviceable for weeks on it. Like we used to have an abundance of backup quarterbacks, and now I kind of feel like they're getting more scarce, and that's why the Colts felt the need to reach
Mhm.
out to Philip Rivers, is what I'm
To an
thinking. But
extent, yeah.
nonetheless, I mean, Riley Leonard, I'm really excited to see what he can do. And you know, but this was just incredible for football, and it was incredible, and it was what we needed as humanity. And I mean, he's going to retire again, and we won't see. I wish we could see him play. I wish we could see Philip Rivers play live football in the year 2026, but that won't be happening. And that's the only devastating thing about this is that he
Yeah.
doesn't get to play for a little bit longer.
Philip Rivers, he gave the Colts everything he had. I mean, they were going to try to make a miracle playoff run. We knew that wasn't really realistic, but he went out there and he did what he could. He competed and he gave it his best. And I mean, I do think, I mean, maybe there's something to the fact that some of the backup quarterbacks aren't what they used to be. There might be something to that. But the Colts, they were really down 3 quarterbacks. I mean, you get the ACL problem for Jones. Was it ACL or Achilles? Anyways, it was a
ACL.
bit an ACL problem for Jones. You get the season-long injuries for Anthony Richardson, and then even Riley Leonard was banged up a bit when they signed him. So I mean, they were really on like their fourth option. So the Colts were on emergency options. They didn't really have a lot of options, but so I'm interested to see what Leonard does. But just an ode to Philip Rivers. What an incredible run to come back. He didn't have to do that. That was fun to watch.
Philip Rivers is amazing, and yes, last chance he'll ever be able to do this. Where would you rank Philip Rivers amongst all time quarterbacks?
I
More
mean,
specifically, Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks.
and I mean, yeah, this really does reset the clock for the Hall of Fame. So now it's another what, 5 years before his candidacy will be evaluated. And really, that was all an incredibly smart decision by Philip Rivers because at this point he would have been going against guys like Tom Brady and Drew Brees. You don't want to be going against guys like that. I mean, maybe you'll still go against guys like Rodgers or a few other guys of that
Russell
caliber.
Wilson.
And I mean, you would much rather compare yourself with like Russell Wilson than like Tom Brady and Drew Brees, in my opinion.
Right.
I think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think you could make a case that Philip Rivers is a Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, there's some debate there. Um, I think it'll be interesting to watch if he makes the Hall of Fame. Guys like, will Matt Ryan make the Hall of Fame? I mean, there's some questions there.
Matt Ryan. I definitely think Matt Ryan should have a case to make the Hall of Fame. I mean, yeah, there's a few others that I can think of, but yeah. Um, anyways, yeah, Philip Rivers in the NFL, it was great to see. But But yeah, that's all for right now, folks. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Be sure to stay tuned next week as we recap Week 18 and get into the playoff matchups. Be stay tuned for the month of January. This is officially January football. So this is when the Gridiron Glory gets really hot and spicy. So stay tuned for that. Um, and yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow our channel, football fans. And thank you so much for watching.